Hello， 有球各位朋友，大家好，又到了本周的共勉之了。这个世界有点混乱，我们先喝一杯。比较可惜啊，上礼拜那个张奕晨在3A 复健了几场之后，结果再度受伤。我知道奕晨应该很急着要回到大联盟了，但慢慢来。红袜很需要奕晨，对，但是慢慢来。我们这边敬奕晨一杯，让我们的国防部长赶快回到波士顿。上礼拜那个 PLG 的冠军赛，台科大总经理林志成展现一个台湾大哥大的风范，不满判决场内丢掷水平，勇士球团开罚，下一季无法进入勇士主场。然后新闻就报说，这不是台湾运动史上首次有丢掷义务入球场的比赛，棒球场很多，只是以前的丢水平大概是15倍。在台湾草创时期就是比较混乱啦，虽然篮球场也现在有啦啦队，但可能啦啦队不够消灭篮球迷的怒气。你现在棒球迷已经虽然没有同理心，但是怒气已经内化成 honey。篮球看来是很长的路要走，那我们也是希望篮球越来越好。上礼拜我跟那个长舍参加了一个本季最长的9局比赛，4小时42分。我昨天跟那个成功聊天，他说他最近转播美国职棒，2场加起来还不到5小时。台湾的职棒 CP 值就是比较高，我们1场就4小时42分。但那场比赛打击很精彩啦，也恭喜那模一样终于不会被骂了。大家都说他捡了平头，认真打棒球了，但我是觉得不是，以我对他的了解，应该只是因为天气热而已。大家共勉之。上礼拜的那个战局也非常混乱，排名第2是乐天嘛。经过上礼拜的混战之后，来到第5了。乐天投打手近况都不佳，近16战吞13败，其中正是在5月30日的比赛搞砸一路7比0的领先，被中信兄弟演出大逆转。不管是几分的比赛，乐天牛棚都有办法让他回到原点，疯狂赚值。但老实说，其实都还难讲，大家不要灰心。感觉兄弟的状况也回来了嘛，大家开始习惯恰总。阪神日大家说呢，我要支持维柱，票卖超级好。对，看来大家希望的小翔里面就是维柱，并没有发生。这就是薛定谔的猫，大家都觉得小翔里面的内线并不是维柱，但小翔一直没有把自己的头线拿出来，所以里面是维柱的可能性，其实我觉得还是非常高的，大家共勉之。总之上礼拜阪神日，大家要头先体正直啦，讲是说支持维柱，还是爆满了，还是爆满。上礼拜我觉得很感人的是我们的志豪终于回来了，一个人打趴乐天全队，然后昨天又跟陈志豪 back to back 嘛，可还没有公布 MVP 是谁，他就直接走上去了。除了感谢大家之外，他也特别跟酸民说，看来偷偷都有在上网。我们 YT 就说他当人体电风扇，当天就不当人体电风扇了。像酸民说，有你们酸我真好，我爽；
有你们酸我真好，我爽。
一个虔诚的教徒会用这么激烈的语言来表达他的爽，我爽，看来是很不爽了。一次共勉之。然后那个富邦虽然在上礼拜兄弟追上来了，乐天掉下去了，但我们的富邦还是稳居如主。其实我觉得台湾职棒大概6月的时候，端午节的附近都打得蛮差的，因为真的是太热了，而且有台风。长者的那个长哥出去玩的频道应该会出来，大家也看看我们是多棒的主持人。就算在狂风暴雨之中，我只要开始评论棒球的时候，长者就会马上我接下来打击的是江坤宇他今天状况还不错。今天打击的是苏志珏，上礼拜也有很好的表现，他就开始出现这样的语气，推荐大家看一下。好了，讲到富邦，我们很高兴可以邀请到本土球员罗力来上我们的野球干一杯。我一直在考虑到底要用英文访问他还是用中文访问他，想说英文也不是不行，但如果这样的话，全部片都是英文，所以我们还是用中文问题，江教练翻译给罗力，所以大家听得到英文，也听得到中文，我就觉得蛮精彩的。我们大家都熟悉的邦邦最对味，听罗力来讲邦邦实际的味道，邦邦实际的味道是3小。好了，总之就是这样，这期野球干一杯我非常期待与大家共勉之。大家还是要继续看棒球，上半季的冠军快出来了，不管是谁冠军，我觉得今年上半季其实都蛮精彩的，与大家共勉之，拜拜。Hello， 野球干一杯的朋友，大家好！我们今天迎来我们史上最高的来宾，我们欢迎罗力，还有一章教练。
观众大家好，
一章教练是那个罗力的自传的共同作者，算翻译嘛？
因为他口述，然后我文字整理。
文字整理。对，罗力明天回美国嘛
Yeah, go back home tomorrow.
Yeah, so we can drink.
Sounds good.
Yeah. You like beer?
I do like beer.
Which one?
I'll pick one. I think I chose this one.
我们来观察一下外国人是怎么倒酒。啤酒对全世界来说都是一样的。
I like your beer glass.
You can bring one.
Your face. Yeah, I'll take one home. Thank you. Send you a picture at home. You're drinking a beer.
Cheers.
Cheers.
干杯！
干杯！
干杯！我很喜欢 IPA 吗？还是
I like a lot of beer. I like all the different beer flavors.
When did you start drinking and liking beer?
I think I got into like craft beer when I was maybe like 24, 25.
24?
Yeah, I actually brewed my own beer for a little while when I was younger, like when I was like 24 to 27, just for fun.
那时候已经打职棒了。
Yeah, me and like a buddy of mine on a couple teams, we'd just brew beer here and there just for fun.
没有成功。
Baseball was a better option.
那在台湾有比较常去哪里喝吗？
Me and a bunch of like other foreign players, we go to Red Point a lot because
Red Point.
Yeah, they have good beer and they have really good like chicken wings there.
之前在韩国，因为书里面有讲到在韩国喝酒，他怎么发现晚辈要
I think like one of the first team dinners that we had, it was in spring training, I think, when we were in Tucson. I think it was like Moon Festival. And I learned, they like, if you're drinking with a veteran or someone older than you, like you have to cheers and then, turn away. Yeah, so it's like, okay, I can do that.
可是他是外国人
But you're
应该是
foreign.
不用。
Do they expect you to do that too?
I don't think they did, but like I'm a guest and I try and play by the house rules.
输给大学球队那一队也是在同一个时间。
That was right after we left Tucson. We flew to Korea and then we flew to Taiwan. We were in Taichung for like a month and then we flew back to Korea for more spring training. And we lost to a college team and the manager was not happy.
You see the WBC game Korea?
Yeah, a couple of them.
你觉得他们回去会被骂？
Probably at least the younger players did.
所以罗力是在纽约长大，对，是大都会。
Yes.
为什么不是洋基？
Another bad decision. Missed out on a lot of championships not being a Yankees fan, but grew up a Mets fan. We had this like videotape in our house growing up. It was like a collection from like the 1986 season. It was like all like the highlights and there's like music and I probably watched that tape like a million times and that's, how I fell in love with the Mets.
如果以一个纽约人的角度来说，大都会跟洋基两个球队有什么不一样？
I think a lot of people think, at least as a Mets fan, there's a lot of fake like Yankees fans. Like you got like all the Wall Street people that are just like kind of hop on the bandwagon of being a Yankees fan. If you're a Mets fan, like you're a true fan. There's no like bandwagon Mets fans.
王建民在洋基打的时候，应该罗力还年轻。
I think I was in early high school, I believe.
那时候知道他是来自台湾吗？
I remember hearing that, yes.
你没有想过那时候会来台湾？
No, wasn't on my radar yet.
那时候书里面是说，没有来台湾的话，他可能就不会再继续打球。那时候想说做什么？
I didn't really know for sure. My wife, she was gonna be, she was.
Lawyer?
She was a lawyer in New York City, so like in Manhattan. Probably we would have lived in Manhattan. I would have figured out a job from there. I know like I could have went back to my old high school and like,
Sell beer or something.
yeah, probably sell beer, I actually worked for Budweiser one off season.
Oh, you did?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Putting beer on shelves in Manhattan and Long Island and delivering neon signs to bars in the city.
所以独立联盟或小联盟的薪水跟台湾真的差那么多吗？
Yes. If you're in indie ball or the minor leagues, getting paid a salary where you're trying to pay rent in whatever city you're in, pay the clubhouse dues, pay the, for food. If you walk out of a season without losing money, it's pretty good.
所以那时候得到这个机会是他会有很想很多吗？
I actually wasn't gonna take the deal. I had already made up my mind that I was gonna retire because it was like August and the independent season only, it went to the beginning of September. So it was like 3 or 4 weeks until the season was ending. And so I'd already knew I was gonna retire. And then, when my agent called me, he was like, hey, I got this deal for you in Taiwan. I was just like,
回台湾。
I didn't even ask. Man, like I've already kind of made that decision. I was like at peace with it. And then just like, opening that door again, I was like, do I want to do that to myself or do I just want to call it a career? And luckily my wife was like, no, get your butt on the airplane. Like, you're going to go there and see what happens.
那时候几岁
I was 27.
？27。
Yeah, I was about to turn 28.
那时候压力会很大。
No, because I already thought I was going to retire. And I was like, well, if this doesn't work, my plan was I was going to be done with baseball anyway. So, I was playing with house money. Like it was just like, okay, like I get to make a little money. I get to enjoy this experience. I get to compete. If it doesn't work out, like I'm going to be okay. Like I already made that decision. I'm going to retire anyway. So that pressure of like having to succeed, obviously I wanted to succeed, but I was already at peace with my baseball career.
那在南明狗一开始，因为完全不知道亚洲职棒。
Yeah, pretty much not anything. I didn't really know what I was getting into. I knew at the time there was a league in Taiwan. I knew there was a league in Japan. I don't think I knew there was a league in Korea at the time. I remember getting picked up at the airport and, driving to the hotel and I actually saw the baseball stadium in Taoyuan and I was like, oh damn, that's a big stadium. Like that's pretty cool.
Did you know they doesn't drink well the field?
I didn't know that at the time.
刚加入的时候加油还没那么吵，
There was like a little bit of it in 2012. We went to the Asia Series that year.
Yeah.
Justin, the owner of Flamingo at the time, I think he kind of adopted what he saw at the Asian Series. And then in 2013, it was easy to see, like right from the start of that season, like cheerleaders on both sides, you know, fire and smoke kind of coming out from the dugout. You know, it all changed pretty quickly.
对一个洋将来说会有困扰吗？
No, I would say not.
You enjoy?
I enjoyed it. You know, I was like, I'd rather have it loud than quiet, honestly. Like, I don't want to hear like that one guy in the stands like yelling at me that I suck. You know, it's like
台湾也会啊，跟兄弟打的时候会啊。
it took me a couple years to understand it.
有讲到一个我书里面我觉得很有趣的地方，弹力球到底有多弹？
One thing in the book that intrigued me is you talk about juice ball. How juiced are they?
弹力球是 juice ball，
They were pretty juicy.
juice ball。
Justin Thomas, where he was the first guy that I heard like bring it up in 2015. He's like, these balls are different. These things are flying. And I think I just like didn't want to believe it because like I wanted to keep pitching well.
那个时候打者有觉得因为这个球成绩变很好？
I think some of the power numbers were probably a little inflated. I don't think anybody would argue that. There was some home runs in there that probably should have never been home runs. They probably should have ended up being flyouts.
罗力有什么比较印象深刻的打者？
Lindley, you know, gave me the
Lindley.
hardest time.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's pretty well known at this point. I tried everything I could to get him out, and I couldn't get him like off balance. Just whatever I did. Lin Susan, probably the most clutch hitter, you know, like I've ever seen. Like that guy came out with, you know, more big hits than any hitter that I ever played against or saw in person. Lin Hong Yu is super impressive, just like how balanced he stays. He's another guy that really hard to fool him, like kind of get him off balance. Like he doesn't take many bad swings.
You'll be on the same team.
These three guys.
Oh yeah, they're on the same team. Those three guys stand out, obviously. You know, there's a bunch of good hitters too. You know, Jason with the line was a really good hitter. He's just very well balanced. Hard to like disrupt his timing. How guy that I struggled with for years. Guys that I had trouble with were the guys that I couldn't get them off balance. If I can disrupt a hitter's timing, you know, I knew I could be successful. If guys were able to stay balanced and were comfortable in the box against me, those are the guys that I struggled with.
王柏荣
He was difficult too. Because again, it was just about balance. He was always very well balanced. I was pretty good at limiting like the damage he was able to do off me. Like almost positive if you kind of go look back. You know, he had a lot of like singles off me, but there wasn't a lot of extra base hits. You know, but those were some pretty frustrating singles, no doubt.
所以台湾职棒跟美国来说，真的跑步跑比较多。
Easiest answer is just yes. The U.S. has gravitated more towards weight training and building strength and power opposed to endurance training. People, or at least in the U.S., they kind of realized that baseball is really like short bursts of energy. You know, it's like you look at like a pitcher's motion or a hitter's swing, it's like that's short bursts of power. You know, it's not long distance, you know, endurance type training, or motion.
那在韩国春训的时候，他们会
Depending on what style manager you had, you know, if it was more like an old school manager and they had some like more new school thought there. I had an old school manager that did a lot of running.
说到总教练，说那时候他在富邦，就发现洪一中要来了，我很傻眼。
When you first heard that Hong is coming to Fubon, what was your first reaction?
My first reaction?
No, not again.
No, it wasn't that. You know, I was like, okay, like, you know, obviously track record with Lamigo was you know, championships, and I'm all about winning championships. So.
啊，对，说到这个我都在忘记，在亚洲职棒大赛的时候，罗力投的非常好，那时候有不一样的感觉，我就觉得自己真的会离开台湾去其他地方打。
Yeah, you know, a lot of people were telling me I was gonna get, you know, a contract like to go to Korea. I thought it was pretty exciting. It didn't work out, and I think I had a pretty slow start to 2013, and I think that kind of contributed to it. Where you know, I've talked about it in the past before. Like in my mind, I thought, oh, I deserved to be in Korea, and I mentally wasn't present here, and I suffered from that. That was a pretty big, you know, learning experience for me at that time. I took it the rest of my career. I can't not be here present, think I'm going to perform at the level I want to perform at.
我要决定自己的样子，没错，要决定自己的样子，只要购买他们3个，不管是维氏强叔叔、打工人强叔叔，还是合并遗嘱强叔叔，自行搭配，通通一次拥有，只有你可以决定你自己的样子。现在就下定预购，赶快让他们滚蛋！ 书里面其实有一个，他一直在讲他的球速一下掉一下升，他有想过为什么会这样？
I did think about it, and I was always trying to figure out why that was happening. I guess it probably happened 3 times where I could really pinpoint 3 points in my career. 2 of them were coming off an injury, kind of. One was Korea, and the second was in 2020. I started the year off on the DL with this weird injury in my clavicle. My velocity was there, but it dropped towards the back end of the season. Definitely was trying to figure that out, and really I don't have a good answer for you.
那一年结束之后，洪总召集大家，然后说是罗力那一年表现不好，所以没拿到冠军。他是跟他说英文吗？
No, it was translated to me, and it was gently translated to me at the time, and then I got the full translation later that night or maybe the next day.
之前有提到那个教练团吵架，那个时候球队气氛有比较紧张吗
Talking about Bruce and Hung, the fight.
？Who win？
Give me a second here, let me just take a sip.
Street Fighter。
I've seen Bruce lift before, pretty strong, crafty, smart, but Hung might come out dirty, so you gotta watch out. You know, so got 2 different styles. I'm not sure who would win.
就身为一个洋将外国人，在台湾职棒可以待那么久，就有什么诀窍？因为他一定有很多朋友来，然后也离开嘛，可他就也可以一直待在这里。
I think being grateful, you know, to be here. You know, this is where I wanted to be. I was happy to be here. I was excited to have a job. You know, I was grateful. I was thankful. So I think that helped me survive as long as I did. Where I think some foreign players, which I honestly think were probably better than me, they mentally, you know, wanted to be back in the U.S. You know, in the major leagues, or they thought they should still be in Japan or wherever in the world. So, like I said earlier, it's like if you're not present, CPBL is going to end up kicking your butt. You know, you're going to find yourself on an airplane ride home.
在台湾有最喜欢吃的什么？
Xiaolongbao. You know, the Xiaolongbao here in Taiwan is like you can't get it back in the U.S. even like close to what it's like here and how good it is. I can crush Xiaolongbao every day, you know.
Arizona 好像也有鼎泰丰哎。
No.
No?
But if Mr. Din Tai Fung wants to bring one out, I'll help him set up a good location and I'll get him a spot.
如果鼎泰丰开放加盟，他很愿意在那边开一间。对对。
那他在台湾就没有家人来的时候，就周末都会在干嘛？
I would do a lot of like base my day around food, pretty much. Try and go to a new restaurant or go somewhere and get a good meal. You know, honestly, like days off were some of the harder days for me just because there was so much time to fill.
说到尝试到喝过 whisky，
No, never had that one.
never had？
No.
This is pretty popular among like construction workers and some local players.
Oh yeah.
Try a little.
All right,
You want it?
Tintin.
They will mix it either with like coconut milk or they'll mix it with coffee. So
Coffee,
it
okay.
wakes you right up.
So we always drinking this in the winter morning.
Winter morning.
Yeah, heat you up.
We play
Heat you
baseball.
All right. Tastes like bubble gum.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we can drink beer. Drink beer. 书里面其实一直说到家人，因为退休原因也是因为家人。
Obviously, you know, COVID, there was a lot of struggles for everybody with
yeah.
COVID. Everybody had their own struggles. And, you know, mine was just, it changed the dynamic of my family, you know, traveling to Taiwan. I remember the night, you know, my wife and I had a conversation in 2020. We decided like, okay, like probably makes more sense for you guys to stay in Arizona than to come to Taiwan. You know, we were a little closer to like Wuhan and China, you know, it just seemed safer at the time. Man, that was a mistake. We should have got them over here and then we could have spent the whole season together.
Yeah.
It was just time apart, and you know, as my kids got older and that lack of time that I had with them was pretty much my deciding factor of why to retire.
但知道他隐退之后不用隔离了吗？
I know. Like I said, my timing probably wasn't great
Yeah.
with you know, not bringing them out in 2020. You know, almost the travel ban gets lifted, so it's okay. I'm at peace with all my decisions, and you know, maybe I'm not the best at timing those decisions, but it all worked out.
哎，那现在在亚利桑那，接下来有想要做什么？
Obviously the foreign player scout for Fubon, but I've been like investing in real estate for the past 6 years in Phoenix, and just got my real estate license. Plan on, keep on investing in real estate within my own portfolio, and hopefully helping other people along the way.
刚拿到那个房屋中介的那个执照，
真的吗？
对，所以他接下来可能也会把一些这个重心放在这个
不是
部分。
富邦的海外发展部。
I'm trying to get that job. I'm working on it.
退休之后，他有在接触现在的台湾职棒，知道洪一中又要带台钢吗？
Oh yeah. I obviously still follow the league and follow players, and I'm up to date with what's going on for sure.
Do you know Hong is taking over the Hawks?
Yep.
你觉得他有不一样吗？
He's had success with what he does. I'm not sure what he's going to do, but I would imagine he's going to keep going how he's gone in the past.
所以那个台钢的球员身材就比较 fit 一点。
We'll be the fastest 5K runners in the league.
可能跑5公里他们会是跑最快的一队。
因为他说一直遗憾是没有帮富邦拿到总冠军嘛。那你有觉得富邦什么时候最有？
Hopefully this year.
This year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a very good team. We got a lot of players, and I think we're starting to put the pieces together between younger players and veterans. And I think we have shown that we can be a team that is a threat. We're well on our way.
所以他知道问天
You know about the praying for run. You know the whole night.
Yeah.
，You know the song？
I've heard it. I can't recall it.
哇，问天，问天。
It was a stretch actually. I was stretching in the dugout.
其实是一个伸展啊，因为包括我那时候当体能教练的时候，其实这个伸展我也常会在做操时候融入进去。
哦，真的吗？
所以其实我那时候看到这个动作，我看他在网络上这么疯传的时候，我就知道说这个他就在伸展。对啊，就知道怎么变成一个迷因图。
很感谢今天那个罗力今天来，那我今天要问罗力最后一个，他记不记得有一球是对手打高飞球，那场是罗力先发，然后那场高飞球之后，他旁边的另外一个洋将选手就要跟他握手，罗力就面色凝重的一直看着外野，没有要跟他握手，然后那球就漏接了。他记得那一球吗
Did you get a sense of that the outfield is gonna drop that ball?
No, I know baseball. It's such a hard game. It's like I'm just waiting. I don't want to jinx anything until the game's over. And I was just waiting to see the ball get caught, and I think we ended up winning the game anyway. So it's all good. I think I did get the win in that. I'm almost positive I still got the win.
好啦，今天谢谢罗力来一球干一杯。最近有新书嘛，《完美落幕》，教练跟罗力，对，我们江张教练跟罗力推荐一下这本书。
I just tried to tell a story, of my career, and I think it's a pretty interesting story. So I tried to be as honest and truthful as I could, and try and make it entertaining. I think Keith, really, did a great job in terms of like the interview process, where he would just ask me questions, and then I just start telling stories, and then he put the words into the book. I'm just like kind of a storyteller, and then Keith, kind of did the rest.
这本书教练大概访问了多久
大概2个半月。
？2个半月。
对。
没有，我想问书里面麦克说他那个忘记带婚戒，那他是用什么理由去
When you propose, you forgot you left your ring.
That's my wife? Yeah. I've only made one proposal, I swear.
You left the ring in the hotel.
I did.
And then you had to make up an excuse to run back.
Yeah.
What did you tell Carrie?
I can't remember what I said. I told her I forgot something in the room. I can't remember what I said to her, but I remember her giving me this look like you're an idiot. Like, would you leave in the room? Like, somehow I was able to sneak back into the hotel room and get the ring before we went to dinner. So that would have been a disaster.
第一次写书，
我觉得这本书其实真的是交代了很多罗力的，像他讲，他真的是很诚实，很坦诚的交代了他生涯所有的一切，不管是球场上还是球场外。那其实我也一直有在讲，我觉得一般来说我们看到棒球员都是在球场上，对，就是好表现。但是罗力在这本书里面，他讲到很多他的情感的部分，对家庭的感情，
人的部分，
包括跟队友的相处，甚至包括对于富邦球团以及一些球团人员的感激之情。我觉得这个部分其实比较少见啊。就是他对感情的这个描写里面，我觉得是很多我们一般只是看球的球迷比较难看到的。
OK， 感谢罗力跟张教练今天来参加一球干一杯，希望大家可以多看这本书，很值得看啊，里面很多照片都很精彩，大家想知道的八卦也都在里面，不知道的八卦我们今天都有聊到。好了，感谢大家，感谢大家一球干一杯，我们下次再见，谢谢罗力，谢谢张教练，Cheers， 干杯，拜拜。
哟，野球干一杯的朋友，我都打300轰了，这频道怎么还没有破10万呢？赶快订阅Ánimo运动吧，让阿强拿着盾牌跟你干杯哦！